Alright, back on video. Don't ask me where that last video went. It seemed to pop off. Okay, I've got an idea. I had an idea, and so I've got these batteries that can be charged. So I thought, how could I everlastingly get power into the system? Now, the problem is the middleman is the battery. And with these batteries, they were green to start with, but then after about the third charge, they seem to go red, and now they're just crapped out red. So they're only connecting the circuit, and my problem is that mine doesn't even show any power. Yet it's running fine, so there's a fault there. There's a couple of faults in this one. That's the fault there, but I can just deal with it and just accept it. Can't do shit about it. The shortcut key set enter, which goes back to all metals. Well, I had it on other metals. I tried that the first time, it worked. Other times it doesn't work no more. I'd love to find out where the connections inside could do that. If it can activate, surely there's something making it do it. But I don't know. I put out the battery, that'll sort that out. I had an idea where I get a power bank that's solar powered, glue it on the front, stick the short wire into this battery. Excuse me, I'm on my bed. And I've got a pink sheet. Woohoo! Yeah, I told them, if you're going to give me any sheets, don't give me a pink one. But it's exactly the kind you got. You can't tell some women, eh? Some things about women you just can't tell them. The male just can't do it. They call you a male. That's a normal factor of life. So the problem with this one is that volume control. So you burn your ears out if you have earmuffs on. So what you do is you can turn it up to the maximum, like Jeff Williams said, that turning all your machine up will allow you to hear everything, but it could burn your ears out. So you turn down the threshold. Well, this doesn't have that option. So what you do is you get you some earphones with a dialer jig. And you can turn it right down and turn it up till just both ears are heard, and then you've got a perfectly safe signal hearing, you know. Okay, so I heard that if you hold this button, the pinpointer button, it actually will detect targets, but it becomes less height if you use the iron discrimination. So you can find gold in the middle, but iron discrimination will cause that height, the distance, to go from way down to up more. So it only goes about a foot deep, and you'll only be able to detect gold if iron discrimination is on a bit higher up, which is less deep. This has been known to be for the deepness, right? But that's bullshit when you start discriminating out. So if you're willing to put up with part of the time and go with in the middle where the gold is, you'll be fine, you'll be rich. But the last one on the right, looking at the book, which says the secret shortcut for all metal is clear, sets twice and enter. Okay, so on the very right they've got silver, but apparently there are 50-cent silver coins, and I've actually got one, and it's very true, it does detect it. It does lag also when you go side to side. So just listening to what's on my, it's supposed to be only iron in this floor, right? But there are, it's saying silver. Now how the fuck could there be silver in the floor and 6 feet down? Oh, over the way on another valley of this town, there is a silver valley actually, so there could well be silver down there at 8 feet. And there's gold as well, which is common in this country. Now how can I get out of bed and find out that there's silver under my feet and gold and iron as well? Well, the concrete floor underneath this building is got iron bars through it. And that's what the iron is. And plus this place is nailed together with iron nails. So yeah. Okay, I've got two ideas. If it has memory, as it does have, and you turn it off, turn it on again, the memory will still be there. So say, for example, let's prove it. Just push the settings. I just push that settings twice, and then you push mode, and it makes the cross happen. You press enter to get it entered in. But that's fine, it's in now as iron discriminating, so now there's no iron signal. So I like keeping mine in the middle, but it's not the right place. It pips off all the time. So the pinpointer button is, you always got to hold it down, and that sucks, man, but it's optional, right? So I want to get a switch that makes it on, switchable on. So the memory is in there. You turn it off, turn it on again, and it'll still be in the memory. So it tells you, like if you're a non-trusting person like me, and you think, well, these cunning bastards, they've kept the constant tone that you actually find stuff with that middle button and made it be able to easily click off. My problem with this device is that when you come across a target, it's delayed and it ticks off. What do you call it? You go beep, and it's just like not even there for a second, and it pops off, and you can't even really find it. So it's trying its very best to make sure that amateurs might miss that. They'll go right past the target just because it pips, and it'll pip off as quick as it can. So the only way to keep that on, so you know where the pip on, where the target is to have the pinpointer always on. And that's why clever man who has a model similar to this, but without the cord outside, the cord's inside it, and they have a different loading system of batteries, which I like, which I get me one. Right, so this is slightly faulty, you got to customize them. So what do you got to customize? Well, say if it was the build history and phase out all the shit, I thought, well, why not be able to always get it to all middle mode quickly? And so I thought, do that code, and look, it doesn't do shit now. 2 sets, set, enter. Nothing. It's fucked already. It only worked the first time. Not to worry. What we do is pull the battery out, put it back on, memory will be wiped. So I thought of a concept, well, why not have it at a place where it can always go back to full middle mode as a default, right? You turn it on, it'll go back to default because the battery is pulled out, right? Which is nearly no sensitivity, and back to no more of them crossed. So that's fine, that gives you the good gold distance, the gold that all the way down to 1 foot deep. Right, well that's great, that's how you do it. How its default is the best, if you pull the battery out. So if you find a target and it pips real quick, but then disappears off your finger right away, what you want to do is you want to make that pinpoint button permanent by going into finding the pinpoint buttons connectors and make a switch on it so you can switch it on and keep it on when you find a target. The secret is watch out for the power use because it'll chew up. Mine is cheeky, it doesn't even say what the power is. See, they plan on being cheeky and fucking up the power circuit or something so that I'll go out there and lose my battery, because that's part of it. I told them that I was an amateur, so they deliberately made me with no battery circuit. It's actually cheaper than it would probably be. I don't know. It's very sensitive, very loud, hard to control. It's commonly known as hard to control the sound, but I've got a control the soundy thing. And so you can wipe the system. Instead, you can put a switch on, or you can just pull the battery out, put it back in, and deal with the load time. Be lovely if you could get an instant push button and it'll just bink bink coming back as the default right away, like that button setup is supposed to do. Anyway, it's already on it. What are you doing it for? I don't know. Right. So that's me talking about what needs doing with the, what's it called? Metal detector GC128. Not ungrateful. Just want to make sure that I don't get duped out of using something that doesn't do shit. Now what it does do, it does everything you want it to do. But there's only small downsides, like if you had the PP on all the time, it would be great, but the power will use down. So make a switch, like I said. If you want, you can make a switch also for the power to cut off, but then you got to expect it to turn back on, so you got to give it 5 seconds or a little longer, a minute maybe. But once it's back, you will hear your target louder. So if you come across a target, you think that it's doing a shifty on you and it's trying to ignore the target. What you can do is reset that thing back to what it's at now, a default, and it will hear it better. But if you really want to hear it better, make a switch on the for the permanent and put it on the side on the PP pinpointer, and it will do what those other ones that go all the time. It will do that. See, so right now you can't hear stuff all. If I pull that out, put it on the pinpoint. See, it finds things as it gets close to them. But I find that it's a noisy bastard if it's unplugged. But it tells you that it really works, you know. It does. It works on quite a good depth, and it tells you of what depth everything is. It tells you every target. But I can either get a tired hand holding the pinpoint button, which is up to me, or I can solder it together permanently. But I haven't got a screwdriver that's got the long skinny holes for the screws. See there, you can see them anyway. My finger is touching at the hole. Man, the focus on this is shit. There it is. Right, so my other battery, which holds charge, is in, and this one, it goes red, means that it's crapped out, so I've been overcharged too much. The problem with batteries is if you can recharge them. This is a rechargeable called Double Power, Chinese I think. Double Power. Okay, and it has the cool thing where you can plug it in with a cell phone charger cord. So just for that, I was thinking, what if it was able to be charged while it's plugged in? Wouldn't it supply infinite power? So I have my power cord here, plugged in. And see how when it's plugged in, it's not working. When it's not plugged in, hello, where are you? There's not my things in the way, sorry about that. So yeah, it goes green when it's plugged in. And I thought, what about when it's plugged in, could you charge it while it's running? And get you what we call a solar powered power bank. Look at that, it can charge now that it's been plugged in. So what happened was I had it was in a separate circuit. But then I unplugged it, plugged it into the power charger. You may have to do that way. So fiddle around how you know what order they're running in until it's going. Get a short battery charger cord, which goes to USB. Plug it into your solar panel. Stick it on the front, not on top of the speaker. Obviously, there's the speaker output there with the lines. You can tape over that and take the plug out. It's up to you. If you don't want anyone hearing what you're hearing, because they'll hear what tone you make, then they'll be like, right, he's found some. Chase the guy down. It's our treasure. Fuck him. You know? So that's why they got the earphones, so you give it to yourself, what you know. And it's just, you can use the excuse that it's so loud, it's too noisy. But if you're out in the bush, no one's around, no one's watching you, hopefully, then yeah. I've heard of a guy that was detecting, and then they went and beat him up because they could hear it. So that's what earphones is good for. You keep it up, turn it up just loud enough for bearable, but make sure both earphones you get a comfortable hearing tone. So okay, remember that, the reset, infinite solar panel, and the permanent, the switch, which uses power. So if you find a target first, then what you got to do is turn that switch on, and you'll find where it is, without having to strain your hand on the button all the time. That's still going to be optional. And low is iron, and highest is silver, and in the middle is always gold. Now, if you put iron discrimination on, it causes the depth to get lower, less depth. So that's why I was thinking of a switch which goes into the power circuit, which turns it off and puts it back to default right away. Just in case you're doing some shifty shit like trying to make GPS to point out where the gold is. You find it, you fuck around and can't find a signal. So is it possible that there's some cunning bastard trying to make discrimination hide your targets, send it off in GPS for the office to have all these new pinpoints found? Now, that's what I would do if I was a crook. I don't think it's that intelligent, but there could be Chinese people and UFOs out there getting us to look for the gold. Or whatever they're doing, wherever they are, whatever their purpose. There could be a sly bugger somewhere. So this is the cold reset concept, and the permanent pin button which does the low frequency constantly. And what you want to do is find those two electrodes, like I said, put a switch on it, and bada boom, bada bing, glue it on the inside, keep all the wiring in if you can. I hang my balls out to the cold reset, pull it off, because it can't be stuffed putting a switch in. I don't really want to cut wires. I don't really want to have to try to solder in new wires and make that circuit. I've only got one spare switch. Could do with another. Probably got to look around. My nephew gave me all sorts of cool stuff to help me be busy and happy and do things. Thanks, Chris. You're a lifesaver, man. My family do care. I don't know how much, but at least they try half-assedly. That's me filming. You can see me. It's a very reflective thing. One thing I don't like is to go night hunting alone, because though it's got a light to show, hey look, there's a sneaky bugger over there. There's his light on. So I thought, well, maybe I could just put a cover on it and it would. I crucified myself the other day. Oh! Can't put a light on it. You can hide yourself from being seen in the dark. But then, who's going to see you if you can't see you? What if dogs come running in the dark, you can't see them? You've got no way to protect yourself but with this big metal stick. You can always buy another one. Man, it took me a while to pay this off. And I had to clean toilets. Oh, the pain of life is fun. Okay, I don't know why I'm going to put this on YouTube. Maybe far too much information. I like my floor. It's got all these targets. I don't actually go anywhere because you've got to have permission. Otherwise, you're called a claim jumper, or get shot at or something, or someone hates you. There's fuckloads of gold in New Zealand, but you literally got to run and sneak and grab it because nobody's going to give you permission. They never do. You can be nice to them, but they're not going to give their gold away. They've all got flash cars and they've all got more gold than they can handle. Never mind. Have good luck with that. This is the Model GC 1028. Good luck, world. I've got a shit one, but I'm going to try to make the best out of it however I can. Peace out, legs to video.